Yes, let me do it.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live by the champ. Her last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. SmackDown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wrestling with Savage. Tonight, we're going to be covering Hell in the Cell 2022. A lot of stories coming out of this pay-per-view, and of course, the post-op Raw, which we're going to go over right after. But let's get right into it by saying hello to Jay and Dave, who are here with us for episode 35 of Wrestling with Savage. What's going on, Dave? What's going on, Jay? What's up?
Not much. How's it going?
Going pretty good. As you can see, I'm trying to get some color. I was baking in the sun. I'm looking like a lobster right now. Almost as red as this t-shirt representing the Raw brand. But other than that, I'm pretty good. Jay, how about you? How was your weekend, man?
It was horrible. I was watching bad wrestling. That's what was going on.
Damn. Oh, man. So, I'm guessing we're going to have some rough grading tonight for Hell in the Cell.
Start it off, my man.
All right, Hell in the Cell. Like I said, welcome to Wrestling with Savage. We're going to give you a complete breakdown of Hell in the Cell 2022 right now. And we're going to also talk about Monday Night Raw right after. The whole Hell in the Cell match and concept, we only saw it one time tonight. I thought there were a couple of more matches that could have actually used the whole Hell in the Cell concept. Considering the pay-per-view is called Hell in the Cell, you would think you would see Hell in the Cell more than one time in the night. So the fact that they only had the Hell in the Cell appear in only one match, which in some retrospect it makes sense because then you make that match that much more special because it's, hey, this is the only one that's going to have it, fuck everybody else. And that was probably what happened. First match of the night was going to be Bianca Belair versus Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. And this was the first match of the night, triple threat. She's defending the Raw Women's Championship. We had a big intro and a lot of hype video for this fucking match that was overdone. The first build didn't even ring for about 15 minutes to start the show. After this, they were sending big-time Becks out to the ring together with somebody else. The EST of WWE and the Empress of Tomorrow, they're coming off. All of a sudden, we get locked up in the ring. The first few minutes saw Belair have individual sequences with both opponents before we go to see all three women actually fighting at the same time. The most impressive part of this performance was probably how well balanced it was. All three had a lot of opportunities to be the one in control, but it never felt like any one woman in the ring was doing less than the other. There was a lot of like equal sharing of the shine and the moves and just the overall feeling of the match. The crowd was hot from start to finish. To be honest, Superstars never really gave them a reason to look away. They were putting on a pretty good match. I wasn't happy with the results of the match, but what are you going to do? Me personally, I would have liked to shake things up, having Asuka win the title, but Bianca would go on to win this match. Even the moments that seemed unplanned, it didn't slow things down. After Lynch hit Asuka with a manhandle slam, Belair threw her out of the ring, covered the Empress for the win to retain the title, which I thought was a smart move. I guess it makes her look like she's got intelligence, but it's not the booking I would have liked to see. Notable moments of the match that I thought were pretty good were there was a contest in the cage. It felt like they were wasting like the name of Hell in the Cell in general. Like I said, like that match should have been Hell in the Cell match. I wanted to just point that out. All the matches that happened that night, that should have been the one match that should have been in a cell. Asuka was really smooth tonight. Everything she did, whether she was jumping on somebody or taking them down for an armbar, she looked good, man. She hit a series of strikes and a German suplex on Lynch that really looked really, really good. That's why I thought she should win the match. She just looked, to me, more impressive than everybody else. Jay, what did you think of this match before I grade it?
I think this was, believe it or not, the most surprisingly match of the night. It was unexpected. It would have been Cody and Seth, but we all know we'll get into that later. But this was match of the night for me. Asuka looked really great. I love when she did the double ankle lock on both women. I didn't think she could pull it off. I thought it would be a bad spot, but it actually turned great. Belair did the moonsault on both women. Another good spot. The champ didn't look weak at all. All three women had chemistry. Bex, with the manhandle slam, I didn't like the finish. I didn't like the rollout, especially coming from a champ. I mean, if you're a fighting champ, you shouldn't be winning like that. That's just me. I guess I'm just old school. But overall, there was the Asuka did the double knees on both women. She looked really great. To me, if I were to rate it, I guess I would rate it after what you would call it. I don't know. Should I let you have it first?
How about we hear Dave's take? Let's see, Dave. What do you got to say about that shit? Why don't you grade it first? Kick us off, then Jay can go to his, and then I'll give you mine.
All right. Well, when I went to go watch it, Peacock was a piece of shit and wouldn't let me restart it. So nice. I caught it like halfway through that match.
Hashtag Peacock sucks.
Yes. It's stupid. I don't understand why I couldn't restart it. But anyway, point is I got it from like midway. From what I saw, the match was pretty good. I agreed. That should have been a Hell in a Cell match. It would have been a good Hell in a Cell match to start the show too. It would have got the show kicked off pretty hype if they had a cell. I get the ending because it was kind of like she was trying to Becky tried to do that earlier when Bianca did her finishing move, and she pushed her out and tried to steal the win. Yeah. So I understand why she did it, even though it's not something a face champion would do. But I understand it, and also this whole downfall of Becky. This is like the rise and the fall of Becky. So everything that will lead towards Becky failing in some way, they're gonna do. So that's why it kind of makes sense. I get that part at least. Yeah. As far as what I saw, the match was alright, and like I said, I think it would have added more, like you said, with the cell. So if I had to grade it, maybe like a 2.5.
Damn. Jay?
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I don't think the cell really mattered, even though it would have been a nice addition, but it was good performances by all three women. The finish for me wasn't really good. So 3.5.
Well, the Savage final take is going to be a 4-star. I had fun with it. I had a good time with the match. As for an opening match, it was surprising because usually the opening matches are boring and you try to just stay awake. So to get this match from the start that I was actually a little invested in because I've been liking the work from Asuka, Baby, Becky, and all that bullshit we've been dealing with on Raw, it's been funny. So I've been wanting to see the end of this match and I wanted to see Asuka win, so I was invested. Didn't get to see that, but at the end of the day, every hit looked like it connected. Big Bex was selling really well. Asuka was, putting over both ladies very well. That high ankle spot, ankle lock at the same time double. That she just looked sick in this match. And moving on to the next match, we got Bobby Lashley versus MVP and Omos. The Nigerian Giant went to the apron so his teammate could start against his former associate, but MVP tagged out before they could even make contact. Omos tried to take control, but the Almighty did not make it easy for him. In fact, it took some help from MVP holding him in the corner to get Lashley on defense. At one point, Omos sent Lashley through the barricade with a running tackle, but the former WWE champion managed to beat the count back to the ring. Cedric Alexander then showed up. He tried to interfere on the Almighty's behalf after MVP brushed him off backstage, and that gave him the opportunity he's been waiting for. He sent Omos out of the ring and put MVP in the Hurt Lock for the win. Nobody really expected much from this match, but it ended up being decent, mostly because of the promo that MVP caught, his rap song leading up to this match. That was awesome. If you actually listened to the whole thing, it was pretty funny. He was ripping Bobby Lashley apart in that rap song, and I enjoyed every fucking second of it. I thought that was MVP's best work of 2022 so far. And it wasn't even on the mic. It was cutting a vignette rap video that he fucking killed, and I enjoyed. Did you guys see this rap video? And if so, did you enjoy it?
You want first?
I don't care. Whoever saw it. Who saw it? You saw it, Dave?
Yes, I did see it.
What did you think of this rap video? You didn't like it?
I thought it was trash.
Okay, cool. Jay, how about you?
I thought it had its punchlines, but nothing spectacular.
I thought it was funny because I've known MVP for so long now, and just seeing him actually, rapping and being serious, it was funny. He was trying to be serious.
Me being a person that is so heavy into rap music, no. And like, I just did not like it at all. It sounded corny.
Yeah,
It sounded like he was trying too hard. And I was like, nah, I'm not feeling this. Immediately when I first heard that, I think I remember messaging you, and I was like, is MVP really rapping right now? I was like, no, it was just bad.
Well,
I just didn't feel it at all.
I'll say this for the match. It wasn't great. It wasn't memorable by any means, but like it wasn't completely bad because it was short. It was quick. The crowd seemed pretty happy that Lashley won right away and this match was over. He was celebrating with a fan. I don't know if you guys saw. He took the fans WWE Championship title and was holding up. I want it back. Yeah, he's trying to. That's not something they tell him to do. He did that on his fucking own because he's trying to send a message to people. Hey, I want this shit back. I should have never fucking lost it. I'm a good champion. I look good. I play the part. I've done my job. I'm working with this piece of trash for a while now. Please, Vince, give me back the strap. Something. Put me back in the conversation at least. Because when we have conversations about who's going to take the strap off Roman, I don't hear the name Bobby Lashley come out of anybody's fucking mouth in this room.
Yeah.
Right? No.
Boring, man.
All right.
He's a good in ring. Don't get me wrong.
Well, Bobby Lashley would disagree
but he just
with
has
you.
no charisma, man.
I agree. He needs some work. I don't think he can get any better on the mic, obviously, at this point. He's been doing this shit a long time. If he's not the man on the mic by now, he's probably not going to be the man on the mic.
The mic is not his friend.
Yeah.
Let's put it like that.
Yeah, I just one thing I want to mention is I always think it's weird how like some of the handicap matches use tags and then the others don't. It's just I think WWE tries to decide this on a case-by-case basis. It's just stupid that they make all these rules and then they never comply with them. I'm sick and tired of seeing countouts that never start, or they start counting to 10 whenever they want. It's just like these little things that just add like a level of stupidity to the whole fucking thing. And to me, it's disrespectful that they never follow any of the fucking rules. AEW tries to follow the rules, but that's a whole different conversation. Also, it's going to be interesting to see if Alexander's actually going to try to form an alliance with Lashley, or if this is going to be like a one-time thing. I give it a 1 star. 1 star. What are you guys grading this shit? Do you have notes? Anything you want to mention about this whole match?
Like I've said before, I'm uninterested anyway. I don't like the story. It was boring to me as a start. I hope this is over now. It doesn't, from what it seems like, it's probably not. I don't know, but I guess if I had to grade it, I'd probably be in the same boat as you. Probably a 1, just because it was quick and over with. So, but aside from that, there's not really much to talk about. What you think, Jay?
I'm not gonna rate this. I'm gonna tell you why. His name is not Almost, it's Almost, but if this does not prove it, I mean, I don't know what else to say about
I've been hearing
guy.
you say that for about 3 months now. Are they ever going to fire him?
Let's see. He had no footwork. He did a face front suplex. There was a part where, let's see here, MVP tagged Almost and Almost stood there in the middle of the ring and realized he did not get tagged. If that's not a botch for you guys, I don't know what else. I could keep going. I could go to the part where Almost was running to this barricade and slowly started to slow down and the barricade just magically collapsed into pieces. That looked like trash. How about the spear on Almost? Trash. There was nothing really good. How about the part that Corey Graves said, oh my god, it looks like Almost is going for Snake Eyes, but instead of Snake Eyes, he goes for this 2-arm clothesline that made no sense, and I don't even think Lashley was expecting that because he was way off balance. He wasn't even positioned into the corner turnbuckle. I don't know. I can keep going on about this match. I'm surprised you guys are even giving it a star. I am not.
I just gave it a star because
because
we didn't have to watch it for 20 fucking minutes. You know what I mean? Like I appreciated that.
Me too. I agree. I agree that it was quick and done. So one star.
Not a rating.
No. He's like, no. All right,
No.
we get a no. All right, no problem. It's all good. Anyway, after that, we get a match from KO versus Ezekiel. This is going to be the third match on the card. Showdown between an irate Kevin Owens and a calm and collected Ezekiel. KO looked like he was ready to tear somebody's head off. Blood pressure high up into the moon level. He walked to the ring. Ezekiel caught Owens with a jumping knee to the face and immediately followed up with a flying elbow drop for a close 2 count. The prize fighter rolled out of the ring to collect himself, but his rival followed to continue the fight. Once KO had the upper hand, he began to taunt Ezekiel and the crowd while still dishing out as much damage as possible. The momentum changed from one competitor to the other several times. It helped make this fight feel more of like an actual proper match, more competitive than I expected it to be. And it was nice to see Ezekiel get a chance to have a proper match, from beginning to end. I didn't like the fact that he took the fucking L, obviously, but it was nice to see him work with somebody like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is a great performer. It was nice to finally actually see the match just happen because they've been talking about this shit for a while now. So I have, mixed feelings on whether I should or should not be invested because I like both guys. I like Kevin Owens and I like Ezekiel or Elias, whatever the fuck you want to call him at this point. I'm just so over it. Ah, man. But at the end of the day, it's still such a gimmicky match. And it pissed me off that Owens won this match. It's like, what's the point of bringing this guy in? New character. You're trying to hype him up. You're trying to build him up. And then you just have Kevin Owens completely fucking, shit on him. He nails him with a few super kicks. Finishes him off with a stunner. Picks up the win. I mean, it was entertaining, but like, what was the point? What do you guys think? What are you grading this? Jay, Dave, anybody. From now on, it's going to be first come, first serve, man. I don't know. Tired of calling out names, man. Just somebody speak up, man. The other person shuts the fuck up and we keep it rolling, baby. Keep the train rolling, man.
As far as the match goes, I actually really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a good match.
Please tell us why.
I like the way the match went, especially with the ending with Kevin Owens saying Elias and then stunning him. The story is, I think they did this because now they're just finishing the story and Kevin Owens gonna move on.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is gonna lead to for Ezekiel. Like that's the only thing I'm lost in. Like what's gonna happen now with him? Is he gonna go into some other random storyline now again or something? Because I enjoy the Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is good when it comes to that comedic stuff. So like, who else is he gonna? He's gonna go to the Miz or something. Miz is involved in other stuff. So who else can he do something that will be in the same frame of being funny and
Can I answer that question for you?
What's that?
The answer is no one. Because he's going to fight Kevin Owens probably for the rest of the year. If this follows suit of any other fucking storyline that they do, these idiots are going to fight 4 or 5 more times before this sees the end of the light.
But this is like the third match, isn't it? Like
at a pay-per-view?
At least not one-on-one, not a one-on-one, but
at a pay-per-view, this is their first one-on-one. Their first of motherfucking many. Like, you will be seeing KO and Ezekiel fighting until fucking Judgment Day. November or just Survivor Series. Some shit. It's going to be bad, man. Jay, what'd you think of this match? What do you grade it? Dave, what'd you grade it, by the way? Did you grade it? You said you liked it, you enjoyed it?
Like a 3. I liked it. I give it like a 3.5.
3.5's a good rating. Jay, where are you at? What did you see? Did you like anything from this? Are you happy with the direction of this storyline? Is this something that you feel is an ingredient for some special recipe that's going to come up and end up being amazing? That you're going to want more of? Or is this going to be one of those recipes that you're going to tell grandma to put back in the closet and never pull it out again?
I'm going to come out with this new t-shirt. It's going to be called Piece of Crap because this is exactly what it was.
Piece of crap?
It was a piece of crap, but I'm not going to lie. Ezekiel shined in this match. I think out of all the matches he basically had on Raw, he had some spots but I really thought Kevin Owens was really calling too many spots in the ring. There was a part he called the spot when Ezekiel, his strong Irish, whipped him into the turnbuckle, into the hip over. KO really just called that. It was really loud. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it was kind of like an oversell too.
Yeah, it was an oversell there as well. So that's something I didn't like in the match. You know, KO went for the swanton. Ezekiel countered it to the knee up. I thought that was a good knee strike. I thought he really sells it well. There wasn't enough, what do you call it? Knee slaps, you could say. You know, he really did a good well of covering it. So I really like that part. Yeah, he really did shine in this match. But overall, I could care less what his story is. The KO called too many spots. It wasn't really good for me. It was 1.5.
Damn, that's fucking harsh. I mean, I like some parts of this. I also watched the interview later that Ezekiel had during the pre-show. It didn't really do much to add to the story, but it made him look really good without Owens for once. He was on his own talking. It was a fun promo. You guys should watch it if you ever get a chance. But it's always fun to see KO pull out his moonsault from the second rope out of his bag of tricks. It looked perfect when he hit it on Zeke. And the way Owens flipped when Ezekiel whipped him into the corner was wild. Crashed down very hard on the mat. And also the pop-up powerbomb that KO hit was picture perfect. So because of that, I'm going to give it a 2.5. Because I did enjoy the match. It was entertaining. I just didn't like the result. I didn't like that you build up this guy to lose. But it's okay, because Ezekiel's going to get his revenge, like I said. You think the Zeke is just going to take a loss like this and not turn around and want to whoop KO's ass and get some revenge?
So
Are you calling the Zeke a quitter, Dave, on Wrestling?
Zeke with Zeke.
Hold on, so we got 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5, right?
It's all over the place.
Wow.
It's all over the
but
place.
I actually enjoyed the match, so that's why I give it a 3.5.
All right.
It was better than I expected.
I'm going to give you guys a chance right here to go into detail on this match. Who wants to take the opportunity to cover First Take on Judgment Day versus the Fake Bullet Club? AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan. Anybody want to step up to the plate?
I'll give it a stab.
Or do you want me to rip it? It's your call.
I don't really think.
I want to give you a chance to shine, Jay, if you want it.
I mean, I'm not gonna list every move by move set, but I'm just gonna say that I'm just gonna say this. I don't think Ripley was very impressive in this match. I think she looked weak. She had a nasty headbutt on Liv, which was pretty good. It reminds me of Drew with the Glasgow kiss. Styles had a nice knee neck breaker on Edge. Styles had a front flapjack suplex on Priest. Styles hit the phenomenal forearm on Edge, but Priest breaks the count. It was another good spot. Liv had her moment. She did a DDT on Ripley. Ripley sold it well, but once again, I wanted to see more strength and offense out of Ripley. I didn't really see it quite in this match. I actually saw more offense, more Priest than I saw her. You know, Edge spears Balor for the 1, 2, 3. You know, Balor had his moments. We all know what he could do with his swing blade and all that. But overall, I don't like these type of matches. I said this many times. When it's 6-mans or trios, it's just not for me. Everybody's all over the place. But, you know, what can I say? Anything bad about Finn Balor? No, everything was smooth. Priest, like I said, had his moments. But I was very disappointed at Rhea Ripley. I didn't really see enough. I saw more selling when somebody's supposed to be this indicator, this strong offensive, you know, of the Judgment Day, and I didn't quite see it here. But overall, this match had nice spots all over the place. You know, Edge didn't really do a lot. He just basically sold because he's trying to put people over. So it's well expected. But overall, it was enjoyable, and I'll give it a 3.
3 stars. Okay. 3 stars. Dave, what's your take on this?
I agree with the whole Rhea thing. But Rhea, I think majority of the match, she was out on the apron. She wasn't really doing much of anything. She started out the match, I think it was, right? They started out, but
let's not forget she had moments that she was just basically standing in front, you know, Finn on the top and covering, you know, Edge. So There was really
Yeah.
nothing going on with her.
Yeah, she was either like intervening or she was standing in the apron. Like, so she didn't really get a moment to shine. Those matches, especially when it's 3-way and it's intergender, you know, there's always going to be that one factor that's not going to stand out. And there's always the women because they can only fight each other, and there's always one versus one, where there's two guys versus two guys. So, aside from that, I thought AJ was good too, but he also was in the apron most of the time. I don't know what happened at the end because today in Busted Open they said that he looked like he was actually knocked out, and fans were seeing him like bleeding from his head, but they don't know if he got hit when he got thrown into that side bar, if he really hit his head or something like that, because he looked like he was out of it. So that was weird. Aside from that, the match was okay. I didn't like the whole Rhea spots, especially standing in front of Finn to do the coup de grace. I didn't like it. I was expecting Finn to jump over her. I was like, he could do it. It would have been cool, actually. That would have been a great spot if he had jumped over her and still did like fuck you, I'm still doing it. You know, but aside from that, it was an alright match. I'll probably in agreement with you. I'll give it a 3.
Wow. Well, here it goes, boys. I graded it a 3 as well. I thought Balor spent slightly too much time on defense when he was in the ring. There's always somebody that usually fills that role in a match like this, but it just seemed to last way longer with him. And I guess I see the purpose because the crowd popped when Styles got the hot tag and they started taking Edge and Priest down with his wide array of signature moves. Once Priest and Ripley helped him regain the upper hand, Edge drilled Balor with a spear to get the win. This was a solid match that had a good mix of storytelling and competitive action, but the storytelling now, I don't know if it's still good. We'll talk about that when we get into Monday Night Raw. We didn't get a new member of the Judgment Day just yet, as some people predicted, but the outcome was still the right call. Edge getting the clear win, dominance over Judgment Day. They had some new fancy gear on for the match. Ripley, even though she looked like, not too good in the match tonight, her gear was pretty fucking cool. She came out looking pretty cool. I thought she had the best looking gear out of everybody. And she also did look impressive when she did the vertical suplex. I know Morgan isn't like a heavyweight or anything, but it still looked impressive. And the best part of the match was the camera angle that WWE was using for the sliding knee that Styles hit the Priest from the apron. He's really good, AJ Styles, and I hope he gets another run down the road. He's solid, AJ. He's one of the most precise guys they've ever had. It's hard to find botches on AJ, is my point. You know what I mean? You got to really look for an AJ Styles botch, and if there is one, it's usually the other guy's fault.
Yep. He's like a perfectionist, so he's one of the greatest in-ring performers you will ever see in your life, and I hope, like I said, I hope he gets another push back to the top. Honestly, I don't know why they're not pulling the trigger on him having his own kind of Bullet Club shit going on right now, and just ripping apart fucking Monday Night Raw. Come out on the mic. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of all the commentators. I'm sick of Vince. You idiots fucking in Hartford sitting in your fucking mansion. He should go off. That's what I want to see. Hopefully we get that one day. That's what I would book for AJ right now if I was the promoter there, but I'm not. Not yet. Maybe one day. We'll see. Maybe never. But somebody needs to fucking do something, because what they're doing with the storyline, which we're going to get into Raw, I'm not going to get into that now, but we have something to talk about for the Monday Night Raw segment that it just makes no sense. I know why they did it. I don't like it. After this, we had Madcap Moss versus Corbin in a no-holds-barred match. Happy Corbin came out for this match looking a lot less happy than usual, but he still had his stupid little hat on. Madcap Moss was not smiling, on the other hand, but he did look a little more excited than usual. He looked more excited than Corbin. They circled each other for a little bit before they started throwing punches. There was a no lockup exchange of submissions. This was pretty much a brawl from the moment the bell rang till the moment the bell rang again. They used several chairs. They used the steps, the announce table, the barricade, and anything else they could find to inflict damage on each other. They were mostly hitting each other in the back, nothing really too severe to the face, but all the back shots were legitimate, stiff shots. Corbin did a phenomenal job when he was punching Corbin at the announce table.
I'm not gonna lie, that one moment of the match is what made me respect Corbin just a little more. He finally showed me something when he was hitting those punches at the announce table. He was showing me like rock-like intensity on the swings, connecting, fucking like I'll use the word Jay says, the facials. His facials were incredible. I like to say expressions. His expressions while giving those punches to Madcap, he looked like he was having a real good time finally getting some shots in. He's like, you piece of shit, I'm gonna put you over now, you piece of shit. You know, I gotta go out in a stretcher now. I'm gonna look good before I go out in this stretcher. And it was fun to see. The stuff they did, like I said, looked good. The crowd was actually having fun because everybody wants to see Corbin get beat up. So the match delivered on that aspect. If you hate Corbin, then this was the match for you because you got to see Corbin get his fucking ass kicked. But, you know, overall, this was a relatively standard hardcore style match for the WWE and the crowd. All the way until the end. Moss put a chair around Corbin's neck and slammed the bigger half of the steel steps onto it before pinning him for the win. It was a brutal spot for a baby face, but it worked. This was easily the most impressive Moss has been allowed to even look in the WWE so far. So overall, it was a success in that regard because you did make Madcap Moss look like a fucking superstar tonight. When he was doing his poses, doing his thing, find me somebody else on the roster that's got a better fucking 12-pack than this guy. Holy fucking shit. Madcap Moss has put in the fucking work. And it's paid off because now he has his big win over Corbin and, you know, moving on. We'll see what happens with his career. Overall, I gave it a 3.5 star. Purely on the effort level. Not the match, not the moves, not the finish. Just the effort level that I saw from Moss and Corbin to go out there and just do what they could to put on a good match. 3.5 for me. Jay, what did you think? He's going to dump on it right now. He didn't even give it a star. He hates these kind of matches.
I don't know. I like the new look by Madcap. I hate the name. Why we can't go to Moss?
Yeah,
we did it before. It was Riddick Moss, then we went to Moss, and now we're at Madcap Moss, and now we're at Madcap. I don't know why we can't go back to the way it was. Very confusing. Like the new attire, like the look. Let's give credit where credit's due. You want to talk about effort? How about give effort to Baron fucking Corbin? Not only for carrying this match, but also taunting the crowd and selling the whole freaking match from beginning to end. He taunted everybody in the tables, not once, but twice. Loved it. How about the part where, let's not forget, Madcap threw the table with the chair at his face, which I laughed because
that was funny.
Expecting that. I was laughing. I was entertained. I thought it was funny. I was like, holy crap, this guy really taking it. So look how far he's going out of his bag of tricks to get this guy over. He had the choke slam from the apron that he did on Moss. How impressive is that? You want to talk about strength? He did the deep six, which we know he always does. I mean, overall, it looked good, but Moss had his moments too. You know, he had his moments, but I really feel truly that the effort should go to Corbin. But I can't go as high as you. You're so generous with all these superstars here. I don't see Madcap as a superstar. It's just not there for me. Especially when you have a name Madcap. I can't see you winning a IC, US, or world title with that name. It just doesn't go for me. It's like Pete Dunne, aka Butch. I could keep going on and on. Doesn't do it for me. I think if he just went with Moss, I could take him a little more seriously. Hopefully we see it down the road, but I'm going to give this 2.5 just for Corbin alone.
And Dave, how about you, buddy?
I'm in agreement almost with Jay. I didn't give it 2.5. I'm more in the 3s. I like the fact, I'm like how George says, I'm not a big Corbin fan. He's annoying.
Yeah, so you enjoyed watching him get his ass.
So I like the fact that he got whooped. But I do agree that he did carry the match. He did lay himself out to put over Madcap, for sure. there are moments with Metcalf I felt like was a little forcing himself a little with the yelling and stuff like that. I thought it was a little overdone. You know, once in a while, cool, but he kept on doing it over and over again. So I felt like he was forcing it. There was a moment that when he went to do the DDT, he looked like he was confused whether he was going to do a suplex or a DDT, and he went for the DDT instead. I don't know if you got caught that part. But aside from that, I like the use of the weapons. I like the end because it made sense. You know, he's getting revenge for what he did to him before. So, but I give it a 3.
3's not a bad rating, man. I just gave it a 3.5 because I was really impressed with Baron's work. And Jay is absolutely right when he says, you know, Madcap's not going to be a world champion anytime soon. But, you know, that's exactly why Corbin hasn't been a world champion. Because some people are not going to just become world champions. You have to put in the fucking work.
It's not that. It's the name, Madcap. I can't
name too either way. He hasn't earned it yet. He's still like he's not going to be a world champion. Maybe fucking IC champ. I could see him being a serious contender for the IC champ,
US champ,
or the US champ. Maybe even tag team titles with somebody. But my point is, Baron Corbin will be a fucking world champion before Madcap Moss. Let's get that perfectly clear. Baron Corbin is well deserving of a world championship run. He can play a bad guy really fucking good. The majority of the WWE universe already can't stand him. So if they just nudge it just a little further and make him the champ some magical way, not now, maybe next year, we get through all this Cody bullshit and, you know,
that's next year.
Yeah, but that's still going to be a championship run. What I'm saying is I'm calling it right now. Baron Corbin's going to win a world championship before he retires.
I don't think so.
I think so. He deserves it. He's good. He's done his job.
I think he will too eventually.
People hate him. People hate him, man. And usually people that hate
he does his job.
Get a win. But we'll see. That's speculation. Jay doesn't think so. Dave agrees. We'll see what happens. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think Baron Corbin is going to become a WWE champion before he retires? Yay or nay? After this, we got a match with Theory versus Mustafa Ali for the United States Championship. Theory was out first. His United States Championship match against Mustafa Ali's coming up. Both men were wearing red and white and blue gear, which was kind of weird. But the letters had the Chicago flag as part of his front for the fans in the Allstate Arena in the city. These two guys, who are known for their conditioning and athleticism, didn't take long for them to start trading quick takedowns and counters and, you know, just pure wrestling. They put on a pretty traditional match for a while, and then all of a sudden they started getting a little more wild with the spots. Theory was really playing up his heel persona by talking a lot of trash to the crowd, which I always love to see him do. Ali would get shot bursts of offense, but his opponent controlled the pace more often. It looked like pretty much Austin was calling this whole match. Once the Chicago native started to build up ahead of steam, the crowd started to actually come alive for him because obviously Ali is from Chicago, so he has some support there. But when Theory put him in the STF, the title holder barely managed to reach the ropes for a force break. Once he regained his composure, Theory hit the finisher to get the win and retain his belt. This was a good, energetic match from both men. We got the selfie, of course, at the end from Austin Theory. I thought it was a 3.5 match. I didn't like when Ali tried to super kick Theory when he jumped off the top rope, and their timing was off, and then Theory actually collided with his knee instead. Like, I feel like Ali fucked that up, and Theory, it looked for a second like he might have really hurt his knee, and he was selling me for a second. I don't know if you guys saw that part, and then all of a sudden he just, boom, he's back to Theory, and he's dominating. Like, I was like, God, the kid can sell, bro. That was a sell. Like, if you watch that segment, it might have hurt a little bit, so it could have been like real life turning into a sell. You know what I mean? Because when something really hurts, you want to touch it, you want to grab it, but eventually the pain goes away because it's like a stinger. It hurts for a second. Dave, what'd you think on this match? Are you grading it as high as me or lower?
I probably will give it like a 3 because I'm not a big fan of Ali. I did notice that thing that you told me that when he did that moonsault and landed weird, whatever, and he grabbed his knee. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too. But yeah, he did spring out of it out of nowhere. So, I just happy that Theory won because he should win this match. I don't know what direction Ali's gonna go after this because I'm not feeling him right now. He's okay in the ring. He does the same moves all the time, so I'm not a big fan. So I'm not a really big fan. So yeah, I'll give it a 3 just for the fact that Theory won.
Got you. And Jay, how about you, buddy?
Jesus, man, I don't care if Theory is on your poster in your room or whatever the case is, but let's face facts. This was not a great match to be even a deserving 3. But I'll give credit to where credit's due to Ali. It's true what they say, when you're in your hometown, no matter what professional sport or whatever you do perform at a better pace, and that's exactly what I seen with Ali, except for that super kick attempt when Theory was on the top rope, as you mentioned, Savage. That was pretty bad. But overall, let's give credit to Ali. Did the tornado DDT from the second rope. He had the STF submission. Did the tilt-a-whirl DDT from the ropes. I like the part where Theory did the vertical Spanish fly. That was a good spot.
Yeah, that was probably the spot of the match.
That was the spot of the match. But overall, it's not enough for me to give it a 3 or 3.5 or go above it. I feel like Theory needs to be more of a better leader when it comes to matches. And I cannot say it's Ali's fault because this is not their first time. This was a match, to be honest, I'd rather see on Raw, not on Hell in a Cell. So for me, it didn't do it. But I give credit due to Ali, so I'll give it 1 star just for that.
I'm giving it a 3-star because Theory is a fucking superstar, and the fact that he even has to work Mustafa Ali is a fucking disgrace. The way Theory propelled Ali into the ring post when they were outside the squared circle was it looked awesome. I like that, but like you said, the Spanish fly spot was definitely the spot of the match. Ali also did take a huge bump. I'll give him credit for that one. When Theory sent him flying from the top turnbuckle all the way down to the floor, that looked like it was fucking painful. But yeah, whatever, man. I'm not going higher than that. It was what it was. The hometown pop was very real for Ali. Probably the first time I heard him get a big cheer since he's come back to Raw, to be honest. So,
the last time.
Yeah, until they come back to Chicago. Yeah, that's true. After this, we have the main event of the night, and what a fucking match it was. This was going to be the final match of the night, and it was the only Hell in a Cell match that we're going to get. The whole event is named for this, and that's what people have been waiting for. Now, earlier in the day, we find out that Cody Rhodes has a torn pec. I think it was his right one. Just completely torn off the bone. He did this, I think, during working out, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did it while we're working out. And it's a hell of a fucking injury. It's usually an injury that most people would be like, yeah, boss, I can't come into work today. I have to have surgery in 2 days, emergency. I ain't going to make it today or tomorrow. Matter of fact, let me find out what's going to happen tomorrow and then we'll talk. I mean, I'm probably going to be gone for maybe 6 months, 7 months. I don't know. No, not for Cody fucking Rhodes. Not for Cody Rhodes. Not for Cody Rhodes. I've been watching wrestling a long time, since I was a little kid. But active memories that I really started to remember all the storylines and all that, probably like 34 years. And I've never seen anything close remotely regarding last night's match at Hell in a Cell, or the night before Sunday's match. I'm sorry, I'm in another world because I'm coming back from the beach and the pool, so the sun got to me a little bit, but it didn't get to me before I got to this match, and this match was incredible. It lived up to all the fucking hype. It was worth every fucking moment. It was worth watching them fight 2 other times. It was worth all of it, because what this does for Cody Rhodes, and not the match even, just the fact that the man even stepped in the ring to have the match. I know for a fact that this injury altered the match. In my humble opinion, I believe that these 2 men had a much different match scripted out. I feel like they were going to have spots that were going to be outside, on the cage, on the announce table, back in the cage. but because of what happened, they had to change the way that they were going to dance. That's probably why that cow, or whatever you call it, the bull rope, it was probably underneath the ring. Cody probably figured that was a good way to kill some time in the match, to not, further have to deal with too much pain. Because then we can just sit there and play with this rope for a little bit. We do a couple of spots, blah, 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 blah. We'll kill like a good 2-3 minutes with this. Because I don't think Cody was trying to take any top bumps off the top of the cage. I don't think Cody was trying to take any superplexes. I don't think Cody was trying to take any fucking like crazy shit that was going to just make it even harder to get through the match. Because I'm not going to lie to you. When I first started watching this match and he took off his jacket, the first thing I said is, what the fuck am I about to watch? And then the first time I see him take the bump, and when he bumps, I feel it. I know that sounds crazy, but I feel it. And it makes me hurt to just see. He's like a brother to me. He's not my brother, but he's like a brother to me because he's a wrestler. And he's going through like this crazy fucking pain. Now, I know for a fact he had to have taken a painkiller or maybe had a good couple of shots of whiskey. Probably whiskey. I think Cody's a whiskey guy. I think he likes his whiskey. He had to do something. Because if he went out there and did that raw, good God, is this guy tough. What a beast. What a fucking beast. Jay, what do you think of this? Before the match, just the fact that he wrestled. What do you have to say about that?
Give me a second. I'm trying to put my words together after your...
How about you, Dave? You got some words to say?
I don't know. To be honest, I didn't even know about it. I didn't know about it till you actually mentioned it because I didn't know anything about him getting injured. So the only thing I knew is you told me, "Oh, wait till you see it," right? Because I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
you're like, "Oh, you'll notice it." You're like, "Oh, you'll notice it." I was like, "Okay." So I remember when he comes on, he has the rope, and you can kind of see a little bruising, but you couldn't tell exactly what it was. Man, but when he took that rope off, you could even hear the crowd gasp. Like I was like, "What the hell is that?" Like I was in complete shock. I even took pictures of it. I still have the picture on my phone because I was shocked when I first saw it. Now, at first glance, seeing it live when I was watching it, when it happened, I was shocked and I didn't know anything about it. So I thought that it was crazy that he was doing that in the first place. Now, after today, listening to Busted Open and hearing a doctor's opinion, now I understand why he did it. So, to give you my raw opinion from what I saw in the first glance, yeah, I was freaked out. I couldn't believe he even did that. Now with the knowledge that I learned, now I understand why he did it. But yeah, the first take, I was shocked. I was like, this man's crazy. I remember taking a picture and texting Lolly because Lolly was upstairs, my wife. She was upstairs and she freaked out. She's like, what, is he crazy? Why is he wrestling like that? So yeah, it was a crazy moment, definitely, when you first see it.
I actually thought it was a dangerous moment, though, because it sends a crazy message to all the wrestlers in the world that maybe now they're going to try to compete with, like, some kind of injury to just have some kind of shock level, just to say, look what I can do. I hope this doesn't become like a fucking trend of people wrestling with torn pecs and torn calves and torn quads and dislocated shoulders. Yeah, but this is on a major level.
Brian Pillman's story is crazy.
Yeah, but this is we're talking about
he had a broken foot. My man was wrestling.
Yeah, but he was also highly medicated, though. I mean,
that's another thing. They say nowadays they wouldn't They don't medicate.
We're not talking about today. We're talking about.
I'm talking about.
We're talking about the fucking 90s. We're talking about the Wild West of professional wrestling. We're talking about you don't even want to get into that era. You don't want to know what that guy was at. Really, I mean, he didn't know if he even had a leg when he was out there. You understand what I'm telling you? That boy was on another fucking planet. But you can't compare the same because Cody went out there probably with one shot of whiskey or maybe even nothing. Maybe nothing. Because he looked like he was in fucking...
Doctor was speculating that he probably didn't go out with anything because in reality, that kind of injury you feel pain
no matter
but
what.
it's not at a major point because it's not.
Yeah.
He said if it was partially torn, then it'd be different. But because it was torn all the way off, the pain factor wasn't as great as it would have been if it was partial torn.
Yeah.
So he said there's a chance that he could have. It would still been painful, but it's still something that he could have dealt with. Up to him. So it looked like he could deal with the pain.
All right. Jay, have you collected your words, or do you want me to just read off the match and then we go to you for your take?
You can read off the match.
All right. To mess with his opponent's head, Rollins decided to wear the black gear with the yellow polka dots, which I thought was an insanely nice touch to this match, whether you want to admit it or not. See, you guys cannot have the same level of feeling as I do for this moment. Why? Because you guys didn't grow up watching Dusty Rhodes wrestle with the yellow polka dots on a monthly basis on house shows, and then the 4-time-a-year pay-per-views. I did. So seeing these yellow polka dots hits me in a way that you guys can't even fucking fathom. But let's not even get into that. When the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, removed his jacket, it became apparent just how injured he really was. A massive bruise on his chest and arm stood out more than anything in the match. It didn't matter what spot they were going to do. The fact that he has this bruise on his chest and he's wrestling, that's the absolute moment of the match immediately. They made it part of the story now. So Rollins kept trying to hit him in the chest. Rhodes was doing his best to try to avoid it. He was trying his best to only hit with his left hand. He was trying not to do too much with the right hand. But when he had to use the right hand to do certain spots, certain moves, Cody cutters, hopping over the ropes, sliding under the ropes, unfortunately, he had to use his right arm to continue with the match. There's no way you're going to have a wrestling match if you can't use your right hand. You're not picking people up. You're not doing crossroads. You're not doing suplexes. You're not doing Irish whips. So, my point to you is this. Literally every other 20 seconds, this guy was in maximum pain. Whether he showed it on his face, whether he screamed like a little bitch, whether he cried, which he fucking didn't. He's a fucking beast, man. I don't care what you say. This wasn't a 2-minute match, a 4-minute match, a 10-minute match. This was like a 28-minute fucking match. My man went out there with a fucking full torn, ripped fucking pec and killed it. He didn't even have any botches. He didn't even have any mistakes. I mean, it was a great fucking match. There was good storytelling.
It was the longest match.
I loved it when Rollins took his fucking face and was grinding it in the cage, fucking yelling at him, screaming at him. It was good, man. I mean, you could just tell that this was going to be a classic match from the moment he took off his jacket. The visionary, Seth Rollins, tried to slow the match down quite a bit. He started inflicting more damage with a weight belt. He even put on Cody's jacket. He brought a table into the ring. He ended up going through that table himself with a frog splash, which, by the way, I give him full credit for. Because he really just frog splashed the table. It was great. He didn't change positions. He didn't try to, protect himself. He fully committed to the motherfucking frog splash, and he frog splashed the shit out of that fucking table. Hard. And I liked it. I appreciate it. It makes me respect shit when I see shit like that. When Rhodes moved out of the way, the American Nightmare then found a bull rope under the ring. So, Cody, like the man he is, didn't take advantage, didn't try to knock him out or ring his bell. He threw the rope to him across the ring. Even in the middle of a match, he's super injured. This piece of shit is taking the stick, putting it on your chest. He's trying to hurt you. You still stay pure babyface and offer Seth fucking Rollins a clean slate. Let's have a clean match. And Seth put it on. He said, fuck it, you want to go? Let's go. Then we have a classic segment. Again, this is something else from 80s wrestling. Mostly WCW and NWA. You didn't really see too much of this in WWF in the early days until later on when they started using it as a gimmick match in early, superstar days, like when Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels were wrestling around that time. And they had a couple in the Attitude Era, but nothing like the classics that they had in NWA, AWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling. This match has been around for 40, 50, 60 years, and it's some of the most brutal matches you can watch. You can go on YouTube and find matches. Obviously, this match didn't go to that level, but just the significance of him pulling it out, showing it, just adding another level of his father to the match, it was awesome. The match was great. Both men used it on each other. Cody got the real good shot, literally rang Seth Rollins' bell, literally and physically. And, just it was a great visual. After several near falls, stolen finishers, painful spots, Rhodes used the fucking sledgehammer to get the win, defeat Rollins for the third. That's the other thing. He's defeating this guy for the third time in a row with one arm. This was an outstanding yet completely unnecessary performance. We didn't need to see this match because everybody would have been okay with this guy taking time off if they would have saw a picture of his chest. I know for a fact there isn't one person alive today, unless you're a complete piece of shit, who would have saw a picture of his chest and then got upset if he didn't wrestle. If you get upset that he didn't wrestle after seeing a picture of his chest, you're a piece of shit. Am I wrong about that? I don't think so. You have to applaud his guts for being tough and willing to do this. It's hard to think about. It was hard to watch, but at the end I appreciated it, and it made him a bigger legend than I would have ever thought he could become so quick. Jay, your words, please.
Well, I feel like respect and having a match is two different things. Just because someone is injured, no matter what kind of injury they have, shouldn't necessarily feel like they would have a 5-star match out of it. I saw something entirely different, but I will say this. I do give Cody Rhodes a ton of respect. It takes a hell of a guts. This was no surprise for me. I was telling you guys earlier before the show started how there was rumors about Drew McIntyre taking the spot. So I was kind of following this rumors up and seeing if Cody was actually going to fight through Hell in a Cell. I told you guys also it's a tough decision for McMahon or Bruce Pritchard or anybody just to make, even for Cody himself, which we all know he made the decision, but that's a hard choice to make, especially when you have a crowd that's probably sold out and this is the main event and this is what you advertise. I'm going to go from Savage saying from the beginning, you're absolutely right. This is Hell in a Cell, and there's only one Hell in a Cell match. It's very sad. I don't think I ever seen a Hell in a Cell with only one Hell in a Cell match. I remember seeing tag team matches, Hell in a Cell, World Championship, Women's Championships. Even I don't know what happened. And this is a big disappointment for me just in general and throughout the whole pay-per-view. But going to Cody, give him hell of a guts. I mean, we all knew it was bad when he took off the robe and we saw how bad it was. I didn't think it was that bad. That's where the respect comes in. But give him credit where credit's due. I mean, I knew it was going to be not such a great match when he started hitting him with his lefts. And some of those lefts weren't really connecting on point. We saw Seth talking in a bunch of spots. Let's face it, he had to carry this. And there was some spots Cody was trying to catch Seth and didn't really come off right because he was trying to use his right arm and at times it was just giving out. Let's not forget they bring the stupid bull rope. That's basically going to kill another 20 minutes. I don't know. I never liked that part. Rollins had to stop. Rollins hit him with the steel steps on the shoulder. I mean, another good thing, but overall, I didn't really see a great match here. And we all know why. I give it 2.5.
No, Jay, we don't all know why. Because most people probably thought this match was fucking incredible. Most people probably thought this match was memorable.
See,
most people probably thought
that's
this
where
match
I started.
Was
that's why I stated it's two separate things.
Nah.
We're just giving respect.
I see it on shows sometimes.
But I'm talking about the match.
No, yeah, I'm talking about the match too. And I'm my grade on the match. And, you can have your grade. I have my grade.
I'm talking about respect.
Okay, I'm not talking about respect. I'm just talking about you. What's your grade?
I'm talking about the match.
All right, that's great. But what's your
2.5?
All right.
2.5.
So that's the end of your grade. Dave, what was your grade?
I didn't grade it yet.
What is your grade? What do you think about this match?
surprisingly, after seeing the beginning, with the robe and all that, Cody shocked me. Like, the first thing that caught me off surprise when he did the springboard cutter, it didn't look great. But the fact that he went for it, I was like, what the hell is going on here? All the attacks that Seth did with the weight belt, hitting him at the end, hitting him right on the injury, throwing him into the sides, hitting him with digging the kendo stick, and all those things were shocking. So even if you didn't, I think the wrestling in the match itself wasn't great. Just everything in its own was shocking. Just the fact that you want to, I get that you're trying to separate the respect and the actual ring work, but the mere fact that Cody put himself through that, you just have to elevate the rating of a match.
That's why I feel that we're not talking about. We're just talking about a performance. I'm talking about the match. I'm talking about spots. I'm sorry, if I was truly a fan at wherever they were at, which I don't recall, I would ask for my money back. Because let's face it, the main event it was a shit show, right? One guy's using one arm.
I thought the main event, the main event was good.
I would ask for my money back.
Okay.
The main event, the main event was a lot better than expected for the mere fact that Cody came out there like that and still wrestled. It makes it a legendary match already. It's a memorable match on its own just for that reason. Then on top of it off, a lot of things that he took for being injured. I mean, that power bomb through the table on the side, I was shocked that he took that. There was a lot of spots in that match that I didn't think that he was going to do with that injury, and it surprised me.
There's one thing
There's actually probably more than one thing you're saying. You won't stop saying anything.
Hold on. Don't cut me off, Cody fan over here.
I'm not a Cody fan.
Let me say one thing.
I'm a wrestling fan.
Let me say one thing. I totally, 2,000%, this is no legendary match, period. This is a performance. But I will say this, though. This so-called match is perfect. This is not a setback. This actually adds to this great story that McMahon is building behind him winning the belt. So actually, this is really great for Cody, and I'll give credit to that, but I won't say it's a legendary match. I said this is definitely something that will elevate him, and it definitely proved it.
I thought you had one thing to say.
The next night on Raw.
That sounded like 12 things.
I'm just saying it's not a legendary match, but
do you have anything else?
This is no setback.
Is there anything else you would like to add? I've been pretty. I've been pretty patient to give my grade and my take, but if you have more to say, Jay, that's what we're here for. If you have anything else to say, are you sure? Dave, how about you? Any rebuttals to anything he said, or you want me to just?
No, I haven't even finished my take yet. So.
Go ahead, finish your take then. I mean, Jay did not want. He wanted to make sure he got everything across. I just want to make sure Jay's good. If Jay's good, then Dave, finish your take, and then I'll give my final take, and we go on to Raw.
Like I said, I was shocked of everything that Cody even put himself through. I didn't like when they played the whole sledgehammer thing. I didn't like when they brought that in and all that. But aside from that, I thought it was a great match. Much better than I thought it would be, especially under the conditions. So I wouldn't give it a 5 because it would have been a lot better, obviously, if Cody was healthy. So I think it takes away from it. So I'm going to put it a 4.
Well, I'm glad that you're giving it a 4. 4 is a good rating. I understand why Jay's not rating it as high as he wants to rate it. And that's fine. But I'm looking at this match from a different perspective than Jay. Jay's always looking at this perspective as a fan. I look at this as the perspective as a fucking wrestler. And as a wrestler, and somebody that used to wrestle, and used to take bumps, and used to fall down, and I felt a lot of pain throughout my life on a lot of different moves. I can't even imagine what this guy was feeling throughout the night. Now, yes, the match wasn't perfect. It wasn't as good as it could have been if they were both 100%. I know that. But to me, I know that when you see something like this happen, you know that there's going to be changes made to the match. And usually those changes are going to be made on the fly. He got injured like pretty much the same fucking day. So whatever plan they had for the match, like I said, went out the fucking window. And they had to rework the whole match based on his injury. And the fact that they had to do that, they had that pressure on them. They had the pressure of just delivering in the main event of a pay-per-view match that they've been building up for 3 months. The fact that they have to deliver under a serious fucking injury. And something else could go terribly wrong. Maybe he has pain and then he fucking misses a step and fucking hits his fucking head. Or drops Seth on his fucking head. There's a lot of things, a lot of factors. So because of everything they had to deal with, they had to change it on the fly. They did a fantastic fucking job.
Changing. That's not
Wait,
changing
am I done talking?
That's laziness. That's laziness.
It's a good thing when you have your own show. Because when you have your own show, you can mute the other people on your show. But they don't want to hear your take or they want to get their word in. Jay's going to get his take again. I'll mute Jay. No, don't give me the finger. Don't give me the finger. I'll mute you right now, but let me get my take and my grade.
I'm good.
I unmuted you. Let me get my grade. I'm
done with this fanboy Cody shit.
It's not a fanboy, man. It's a wrestling thing, man. I respect the man. I'm not going to give him a 5. It wasn't a 5, but it's definitely a 4.5. It's a 4.5 star performance under the circumstances. It could have been a 5 if he wasn't injured. But he was injured, so obviously that's going to take away from the match. It's not going to deliver a 5-star quality caliber match. But if I had to rate this as a moment, it was a 5-star moment and a 4.5-star match. And that's my final take on Hell in the Cell. Do you guys have anything else you want to add to this?
I just wanted to add a little fact since I learned today. Just know that according to what that doctor said, he probably wasn't in a lot of great pain because of the whole full tear.
I doubt that.
He said also due to the bruising, it looked like it happened like 2 days ago at least. He said it didn't happen the same day because the bruising doesn't happen after a certain amount of time.
I think it happened 2 days ago, but he probably didn't tell them till the next day. I don't think he said it right away.
More than likely, I think
he was probably like, "Oh, let's see how I look tomorrow," and then he woke up looking like a fucking zombie, and that was he looked like a fucking zombie with natural makeup. Now I know Jay's over here; he still has his fucking mic muted. He thought I was gonna grade that shit a 5 the whole motherfucking time. He wasn't having it, man. He wasn't having it. Jay hated this match. I think he hates Cody Rhodes. I think he hates good storytelling. And also, I did call this out though. I said the other day. I think it was with you, Dave. I don't think Jay saw that. Remember when we did NXT, and I said I really think I'm underestimating this whole storyline with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, and this is going to lead to something great down the line. And Jay mentioned it before me tonight on the Tonight Show. And this is good storytelling, Jay. We're going to get a hell of a fucking story from these guys down the road. What do you think?
Well, like I said, I enjoy Steph, so you know, Steph is the man.
All right, Jay, what did you grade the whole show? The whole show, what are you rating it? Is Jay done? He said he's done. 2? The whole show, 2? Dave, how about you?
I think I give it a 2 also.
The whole show, 2?
It wasn't that great. The only thing that stood out was Cody, and that's because of that. What else stood out of that whole show?
Well, we had a good match with the Women's Championship. Was fun. I gave that a 4-star. I gave the main event a 4.5. You know, the whole night, I'd have to give it a 3. I had fun with it. It was much better than I expected it to be. I thought this was going to be a complete shit show. You know what I mean? Like, before this whole moment. And a couple of the matches delivered. Like, I wasn't a big fan that Ezekiel lost. I wasn't a big fan that, Asuka lost. But the matches were still good. I was happy that Omos and Lashley was over quickly. And I was happy that Edge won. I was like, I like that. Okay, let's see what happens. I was looking for Bray Wyatt. I was like, where's Bray? Somebody come out, do something. Nothing. Didn't get it. And then, of course, the main event. And Austin Theory. I'm an Austin Theory fan. I like Austin. I'm going to still call him Austin Theory, but whatever. His logo still says AT. So suck my ass if you don't like that shit. Change the fucking logo if you don't like it. He's Austin Theory until you change the logo.
I'm calling him Theory because just calling him Austin is weird for me. So
Probably. All right. So Jay's giving it a 2. Dave's giving it a 2.5. I'm giving it a 3. And it was better than I expected it to be. But that's Hell in a Cell. We're going to take a short break, folks. And then we're going to come right back for Monday Night Raw. And we're going to do that shit real quick. I think it's going to be a 20-minute show. Because Raw was fucking trash and there's only 3 things I need to talk about. So we'll be back.
basically.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, brought to you live by the champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is wrestling with Savage. SmackDown, hold the title.